And we're live.
I wanted to ask Yonas, like in your amateur athletic career, was there ever any temptation to use steroids or performance-enhancing drugs or any kind? Did you know guys who did them? Was it around?
No, that surprisingly, no.
My fucking high school baseball team was juicing.
Really?
Yeah, the coach was putting there were like there were 3 or 4 guys on the team who had like aspirations of going to the next level after high school, and they had like smaller colleges like Middle Georgia or something like that. They would come and watch these guys play, and the coach was hooking those guys up with steroids.
That's crazy.
That's
crazy.
Wow.
There are 2 guys on my collegiate swim team who I suspected of juicing.
Fun fact, not to interrupt you, fun fact, I was on a swim team for about 1.5 years called the Flying Dolphins.
All right.
Don't ask me about that.
What
Were you
stroke
pretty
did
good?
you swim?
Yeah, so say that again.
What was your stroke? Freestyle, butter, back?
Freestyle.
Freestyle. Very cool.
Yeah.
I did swimming for 1 year when I was 7, I think, and we were called like guppies or something until eventually I was like, I already know how to swim, and I can swim as good as I will ever need to swim living in Missouri. You know, like I'll be fine. But
no,
yeah, it was fun as a kid.
I was on a bunch. I was on one team, my least prestigious team ever. I was just brought in like as a ringer, and there was subdivisions, like just a group of houses that had teams, because like the subdivision had a pool and they'd compete against the other ones. And they grabbed some of the guys from my high school team, and they're like, dude, we don't even have guys in this age group. Can you just come in and like win all the races? And I'm like, well, how fast are they? Because I didn't want to lose. I was such a pussy, I guess. And then like it turns out the people I'd be swimming against were shit, and I could just like, I don't know, like imagine you're like a collegiate wrestler, and they're like, yeah, all the other people will be in 8th grade. Can you just like win these matches for us? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. That's a service I provide. And we would show up in these like can't lose swim matches. And
That's the best. That scenario. The go in there and take it because I'm hooking you up, and those happen in life occasionally, and it's across the spectrum, right? Like when I was selling cars, we called that a cheese deal. That was when like Young Jeezy, the rapper, came in and he was like, I want 5 Dodge Chargers. But he didn't come talk to a salesman. He went and talked to the manager. He's like, I want 5 fucking Dodge Chargers. And he's like, all right, I'll get you 5 Chargers. Garrett, write this deal up. So now Garrett just sold 5 fucking cars for doing nothing, right? Call that a cheese deal. And you call the guy who takes the cheese deal the house rat. In our case, the house rat had done time for the manager, so he always got the cheese deal. I found out over my years of working there that the general manager, who was 28 years old over this massive corporate AutoNation store, had been running like a drug gang, and like one of the finance directors was in charge of like growing, and the Garrett guy who came on as a salesman like in the middle of my tenure came on because he just got out of prison doing time for the manager. So, of course, he got all the free deals, as it were. But, yeah, that happens a lot in life where you're just kind of handed stuff. And it doesn't happen a lot, but when it does happen, grab onto that with both hands. If they're going to let you go in there and wrestle some 8th graders or go in there and swim against a bunch of guppies, you want to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
So, wait, did you get trophies for that? Did you keep any of your trophies? I'm sure you had like medals and trophies and stuff throughout your like sporting career. Like, did you keep any of that stuff?
A couple things. I've got some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu medals. I have some
the
medals I won in college, and I have my first surfing trophy ever. I was at if you're 12 and under, they call you a Menahuni? I forget, something like that. And I've got like a 2nd place in a Menahuni division thing. I got some trophies here and there, but I didn't keep everything.
Yeah, I never won a trophy of any note. Of any kind, really. My dad always shot
surfing in Jersey.
Yeah. There was actually a pretty good surfing scene where I was from.
My dad shot archery tournaments a lot, especially when I was younger, and he'd travel around and do that. And I remember seeing him on TV a time or two doing that. And he had this massive collection of trophies that he kept at a shop we had. And someone came in and took them all. The same people who came in and got my goddamn Play-Doh, my cousins.
Really? Your cousins stole trophies?
They broke them. They were so tall. Like some of them were 3-4 feet tall with like four, it's like 4 pillars that go up from a slab of marble, and it's like a chalice at the top and stuff. And they broke all these fucking trophies. It was so shitty. My dad didn't care, which I cared so much more than he did. He was like, there's a reason they were in that old shop. And I'm like, didn't you travel around for years earning those dozens of fucking trophies? Like, yeah.
That's how I feel about my trophy. I think a lot of them, like, we got rid of when we moved to this house and stuff. The accomplishment's still there. The trophy just stays in the attic or something.
I guess that's true. And he still got the bow. Whatever. I didn't like it. I guess just from my point of view, that seems shitty. I don't like people who are shitty like that, who will come and mistreat your things and be fuckery.
Yeah. You know what?
You ever loaned something to someone and they mistreated it?
I'm sure. I can't think of anything right now.
I got your saw back to you, goddammit. Woody's got this very special saw, and he had like left it at my house. I can't remember how it got, and I had it with me, and I was I put it in my safe. I was like, yeah, I put it in the vault with like my expensive scopes and suppressors. I was like, that Woody's saw is getting the same level of treatment as a machine gun at my house.
Oh,
maximum security. Because I telling Woody one time, Chiz, I was like, fuck, I went to the post office today and I forgot to send Woody his saw back. I gotta get him his goddamn saw back. He loves that saw.
I do like that saw. I still have all the pieces.
Of course you do. It's a cool saw. Just so you know, it looks like, for those listening, it looks like a piece of like aluminum pipe, and you kind of screw a cap at the end, and out comes a saw blade, and you sort of flip it back around and screw it back together, and you have this really effective saw.
Bow saw, yeah, and it's really sharp. Like it would hurt your hand to touch it, and it cuts well.